Welcome back to No Hair, All Heart. I'm the author, host, Mookie Spitz, reading from Jonnie Fazuli and the Transfinite Reality Engine, page 141 of the first edition paperback. Bathroom Blitz. Jonnie regains consciousness a second or an hour later, unable to tell as he wakes up sprawled in a beach chair out by the hotel pool. Pina colada in one hand, smoldering joint in another? Rarely one to pass out, let alone while cool shit is going on. Jonnie considers this entire situation sus. Paranoia hits him like a tornado again, soon overwhelmed by disorientation and self-pity. He sits for a few moments and tries to connect the dots, but can't remember anything in between seeing that strange demo, collapsing, and waking up here. A true blackout. He's had worse. Jonnie sits up, sips, and tokes. The booze and weed worsen his emotional angst and bedraggled look. A sweet hostess in a string bikini and big sombrero helps him up, and he stumbles off. Rebooting his Fazuli OS, composed of buggy agentic code generating megalomania, exhibitionism, and bankruptcy, he remembers his BS the cat and returns to his room to feed him. His black cat with white mittens greets him impassively at the door as the thicker BS that has followed Fazuli around the whole afternoon and most of his life catches up to them both. Meow, says the cat, pushing his bowl across the tile. Jonnie doesn't like being told what to do, and the cat doesn't like doing what he's told, forcing them into a boring, protracted stalemate. Fazuli lackadaisically searches for food until remembering he never got any. He pulls $100 worth of canned caviar from the mini fridge, makes a big mess on the counter and floor. Mamacita tidied up the room before she left. A goddess! Jonnie misses her, wishes she could have stuck around, or better still, now returned to wet his whistle, which is always dry and thirsty. Jonnie is jelly watching his cat eat, no doubt experiencing more satisfaction this instant than Fazuli ever has in his entire life. Our hero goes to the bathroom, makes pouty faces in the mirror. The words zero crypto enter his Adderall-addled mind, bad news tending to sledgehammer his consciousness into strangely associative ways with random things, like his own reflection. Similar to most narcissists, Jonnie loves and hates his own face with equal vigor, the vector dependent on the last thing that happened to him, either reinforcing or reducing his self-image. If strengthened, Jonnie concludes he's invincible, can do no wrong, and then gets lazy and indulgent. Accomplishing nothing, he soon falls into abject despair, saved by his false bravado. If weakened, Jonnie concludes he's hopeless, can do nothing right, and then gets anxious and compulsive. Overdoing everything, he soon falls into abject despair, saved by pure panic. Since the end result is often the same, Jonnie has learned he's statistically better off feeling himself stronger, smarter, and more attractive than he is, leading to a life of hedonism and avoidance. When seen through such a cynical and distorted lens, his horrible life decisions make sense. Further rationalizing his mistakes and justifying his faults is his inability and unwillingness to grow up. Infantilism is Jonnie's emotional baseline and go-to excuse for constantly fucking up. If things work out, of course they did. How could they not? And if they don't, who gives a shit anyway? Born a digital native, Jonnie has gone native on video games, social media, conspiracy theories, doom scrolling, influencers, life hacking, and XY chromosome centric digital nihilism. Arguably less fucked up than most millennials, he's adopted a can't beat 'em then join 'em personal and cultural realpolitik strategy, the living embodiment of too much of a bad thing. Out here in the land of truth, he does his best to keep it real, especially when he's full of shit. That takes a perverse kind of honesty, hard for him to do, but easier than showing any courage. What was the real reason Sato pit stopped in Africa? And why did he get captured now when Jonnie needed him the most? Paranoia strikes again. A hug from an insane, nagging mother. Trying to assure himself, he figures what good is a hacker dead? White hat or black, people won't kill you as long as you're useful. A bargaining chip that never applies to guys like Jonnie. Yet the irony is not lost on him of a bullshit artist being out bullshitted of his bullshit money by bullshitters. For both his and Sato's sakes, Jonnie hopes the lethal threats are also bullshit. And what the hell happened to Basine? Rumors are already circulating that she experienced some sort of violent physical reaction at the height of the technical demonstration. Bizarro. Wait a second. Jonnie suffered a similar fate in that same conference room at the tail end of that same science demo. He blacked out, woke up later, remembering nothing in between. What was up with that little girl? Did he dream her? She dream him? Two Lewis Carroll references within as many minutes, drunken scientist then Alice, come to life in the most wonderful way, reciting a riddle. Of course he solves it. Jonnie loves riddles. Plenty of thrills and spills in the land of truth, he sighs, reminding him of his other recent lost love, Penny, the gravitas weighing heavy. He misses his more familiar land of falsehood. If only Fazuli could tell the difference. If only he weren't dead-ass broke, loveless and lonely, and, in this sadly dilapidated state, unfuckable. Question: what did he do to deserve this? Answer: everything. He blew the shot with Penny, a no that, with sufficient Fazuli denial, delusion, rationalization, and rancor, can no doubt be tweaked into a maybe. And only one more outrage from a yes. Lascivious thoughts of her long runner's legs, knockout thighs, bulbous breasts, delicate mannerisms, and earnest face flipped to anger and jealousy over his bad Thrillionaire List interview. No follow-up calls, no hints at where, if at all, he placed on that list. Sure, she lost the puzzle game and witnessed his eviction, but his epic stunt was Himothy tier, downright Fazuli-tacular. The audacity. Even worse, taking Fazuli for granted, not standing by her con man. Absurd to think Penny owed Jonnie anything at all, let alone attention, accolades, and free PR. Yet he shamelessly unleashes his sense of entitlement with the enthusiasm worthy of the celebrity plutocrat that he isn't. Whiplash from his ridiculous self-aggrandizement hits hard. Under such dire circumstances, most normies doubt themselves. Under these dire circumstances, Jonnie doubts everyone else. He's an asshole, but most people suck, giving him a hall pass. Jonnie sits on the toilet, removes Basine's card. Her outrageous idea is now the only card left in his hand. Do or die, win or lose. Binary situations motivate him since he's able to pay attention. Jonnie loves bluffing at poker with the worst pocket cards. If he wins, then he gloats. And if he loses, well, he's got 7-2 in pocket, so go fuck yourself. Life's a breeze when you've got it all figured out. Meow, says his feline, wanting more chow. Jonnie lifts him up, counting several more lives between them both. Not even wrong, he's never right, eliminating any need to work hard or even try. Shan bokol io shan io konton kun shan bokol io shan io konton, echoes that hoarse Somali voice back through his brains. He never bothered to translate that alleged ransom. 555,555, says Siri. Jonnie remembering the original Milfy voice that turned him on. Cow hoist in the tug, but today, she'd flirted. He flips to his crypto app, confirms Bitcoin's eye-popping value hovering above $100,000, and squints, doing the math in his big fucking head. 555. 555, he whispers. Another coincidence? Jonnie doesn't think so. I slip away, riddled Alice. She likes you, the Italian scientist told him, the plush carpeted floor swooping up to hit Fazuli in the face. If everything that can happen does, then connections, no matter how unlikely, are bound to be all over the place. The center of his own limited attention, everything, of course, happens to him. By any stretch of even Jonnie's wild imagination, things are even stranger than usual. He senses himself a part of something big, yet can't put his long, bony, fingernail-bitten index finger on it. Sitting at the proverbial poker table of life, Jonnie has gone south with his bankroll, yet stubbornly continues to play against the worst odds and hands he's ever seen, staked by fate itself. Doing what he's done has gotten him to exactly this situation, right here, right now, inducing a crisis that either precipitates a paradigm shift or going totally bust, whichever comes first. Abject desperation hits him between his beady blue eyes, and Fazuli's Ajna chakra explodes with enough energy to ignite the imbalanced chemicals in his dopamine-starved brain. Whatever happened to Basine has happened to him, too. Yet he's back to whatever can be considered normal for Fazuli, while his favorite dominatrix German scientist has become a zombie. His flip from Infiniverse fan to contemptuous skeptic, back to universe-jumping startup founder, is a cognitive and emotional pretzel that Fazuli eats cold with mustard. Nothing to see here. Consistently inconsistent, Jonnie was more concerned about feeding his cat than doubting the feasibility of his most theoretically outrageous and technically impossible scam ever. Memories of Basine Felderhossen and the Riddler girl stream into his agitated mind. The two of them connected in ways he can't fathom, yet feels are important for him to find out. Wherever you go, the little girl taunted him, I never depart. Not in this universe, the dominatrix shunned him. Then I'll have to jump to another one, he'd promised. Having just seen some weird shit, his weird shit just got real. Whatever this thing is or isn't, he will and won't make it happen. Unperturbed by his duplicity and the universe's opacity, he's in. Wasting no time, even when he's wasted, Jonnie hits the road. Tossing BS back into the pet carrier, he boards the next flight out, his renewed excitement matched only by his cluelessness. Like, comment, share. The saga continues tomorrow.